Yamaha motorcycles drive me insane. Let's get into it.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So this video is all about Yamaha motorcycles, or my relationship with them. So over the years I've ridden quite a few and owned a couple as well, and but it's just always been one of those brands that I've never really leaned towards as my first choice, although I've always acknowledged they've had some great bikes. Now I remember as a spotty 17-year-old, my best friend at the time, he went and got himself a TZR 125. It was a monster of a machine. Unfortunately, you know, he had an accident on it, but it was a monster of a machine. I actually had to go on that, and I'll tell you what, I just flew down the road. It was amazing. And then they had the FZR 1000 Genesis, you know, that first sports bike for the road. And yes, Suzuki were doing it with the GSXR, Honda were doing it. You know, there was a bit of a sports bike replica war starting amongst the major manufacturers. But that FZR 1000 Genesis was immense. It was, you know, as a kid at school or just leaving school, seeing that bike, and I thought, wow, what an amazing looking bike. And that's what I've always thought about Yamaha. Some of the colours, those retro colours, I thought were immense. But then when they turned to the blue side, I just thought, not too sure. You know, when I was a kid, the RD 350 LC, what a great bike, a hooligan bike. Loved those bikes. And there was lots of small bikes at the time that, as a young kid, you kind of naturally looked towards. The XJ bikes, the FJ bikes, just brilliant bikes, really good. I've ridden a few of those, absolutely awesome. But I never wanted to ride one, and this is what drove me insane. To think, well, look, they are great bikes, they're great engineering. Why don't you want to own one? And I could never answer it. I just never leaned towards a Yamaha, and it's just an odd thing. So when I was at school, I had a dirt bike on the, you know, where I grew up, but I also bought a Yamaha, you know, a YZ250 at the time, and it was a great bike, temperamental, fast as you like, and it just went over the bumps and the whoops, just, you know, just you wouldn't believe. It was fantastic for me at the time, thinking back. But then I sold it because it was breaking down, and I was a kid. I didn't know anything about fixing bikes at the time, or couldn't be bothered, or it was going to be too much money. And I never went back to it. But I always thought at the time, that bike is awesome. Yamaha make great dirt bikes, and they do make great dirt bikes. And this is why I say, you know, when I talk about dirt bikes, and I say if I'm going to get an enduro bike, I'd probably lean towards a Yamaha. I'd lean towards a WR250F, something like that. You know, great bikes, great stock bikes for the trails, for the roads, for doing all sorts of silly things, you know, in the dirt. But I still have this thing where I don't naturally lean towards Yamaha as a company. Weird. One of my favourite bikes of all time, and it often appears in my top 10 of motorcycles, is the Yamaha VMAX. A bit of an odd bike, that one, I've got to say. I mean, I did a review of a friend's VMAX one day, and I got pelters for it because I didn't say that it was really fast. And when I rode it, I was kind of riding it in economy mode. I didn't know at the time, although I did mention towards the end of the video that you know, my friend had said, no, you really got to open it up to get the full power out of it. And I was like, oh, why didn't I do that? You know, so then obviously I've ridden it since, and it is a monster. Once you open that thing up, it is absolutely a monster. So I knew this bike, brilliant. It's got a bit of torque drag on it when you're changing down the gears, but it's a brilliant bike. I love it, love the styling, love everything about it, right? But then they updated it. They updated it with a brand new VMAX, and this thing was going to be an absolute monster. I went to motorcycle shows just to see that bike, right? As along with other Yamahas, the Super Tenere, the other sort of custom bikes that they were bringing out, you know, those ones that kind of, you know, Honda and Suzuki and Yamaha kind of bringing out in the last sort of 10 years or so, just to kind of get into this kind of Harley market, as it were. Not Harleys, but you know what I mean. But then, you know, I went there just to look at the VMAX, this brand new VMAX. I sat on it. I was thinking, do you know what? I could put money down on this. It felt brilliant. it fit me, it just looked awesome, and I thought, wow, what a machine. And I thought, my next bike, because I was riding a ZZR 1400 of Kawasaki, that is, at the time, and I thought, do you know what, this could really rival that bike. And I thought, oh. So the cogs were turning, probably turning a bit too fast. And I thought, do you know what, I think I might go and test ride this. And then I found out that they weren't going to sell it in Europe anymore because it couldn't meet the emission standards. And I think they've even discontinued it at all. So they put all that effort, all that R&D, all that engineering into bringing out a brand new VMAX, one that is just stupid fast, stupid powerful, and they don't even sell it. It drives me insane. It absolutely drives me insane. Let us know what you think of this. Let us know what you think of Yamaha motorcycles and some of the models. Let us know some of your favourite Yamaha bikes. Some of the best, some of the worst, whatever it is. Let us know in the comments below. But have they driven you insane in the past? You know, is it just all in the head, or you know, is there more to offer from this brand? I certainly think so. I think they're great. They make great bikes, you know, good general purpose bikes covering all sorts of different riding styles, and they're just great. You know, it's great. But it's weird, I don't think of myself as a Yamaha rider, and I really should. I always really should consider one of those bikes because they make great bikes. Anyway, let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Ta-da!